Hi everyone. In this video, I'm interviewing Dr. Belinda Wilkerson, an independent educational consultant and founder and owner of Steps to the Future. Today, we're speaking about the impact of extracurricular activities on college admissions. Dr. Wilkerson, thanks so much for joining.
Thank you so much for having me, Jackson. I appreciate the invitation.
So to start off, how big of a role do extracurricular activities play in determining whether an applicant is admitted? Does it depend on the institution?
You know, the two words that you hear most often in college admissions is it depends. So again, it depends on what major. Sometimes it could depend upon what major the student is applying to. It could depend upon the school that the student is applying to. But at the same time, it also depends upon the college's institutional goals. So if the college is looking for students who maybe they've decided that year they want more students that have shown or demonstrated leadership in clubs and activities. So they might be looking for that. And it changes from year to year. So really knowing the college's institutional goals actually plays a lot into how they read a student's application.
Great. So what is the purpose of evaluating extracurricular activities in the college admissions process? What do admissions officers gain from the process?
Okay, so think about this. Admission folks are looking for students who are going to come to their college, come to their campus, and contribute beyond the classroom. The only way for them to know what students will do beyond the classroom or what they have the potential to do beyond the classroom is to look at that activities list. So for example, they may look and see, oh, this student really doesn't do anything outside of going to class, coming home, and doing homework. Would that be a good fit on our campus? Is that someone who is going to contribute to our college community? So that's one of the things they gain. They gain some insight into how that student may or may not engage on their campus. And that's important because research shows that students that are more engaged in campuses tend to stay in college and graduate from college. And that's the ultimate goal. It's not just to get into college, it's to stay in college and to graduate. And again, the research shows that students that are engaged in activities on campus and clubs and organizations more likely have greater chances of success.
Great. So are some extracurriculars weighted higher than others? Would admissions counselors maybe prefer that a student volunteers at a nursing home and plays a season of soccer, for example?
There may have been a time when people would look at extracurricular activities and would decide, okay, I need to do this because this will look good. That's not the case anymore. You know, admissions folks and anybody that's shaping that class, they're looking for what is it that this student has a depth of interest in? What is it? And I hate using the word passionate because it's so overused, but it's like, what are they showing a deep interest in? So, you know, when you say, would they rather have them volunteering at a nursing home or playing soccer? What they want to see is what's genuine for that student. What are they really interested in? Because if someone is volunteering at a nursing home and doing that because they think it makes them look good, well, they're missing out on the whole point of showing who they are. So when admissions people are going through an application in the amount of time that they have to go through applications, you know, they need to see some evidence that what you're doing is of interest to you. So when they see a student that is playing soccer and they've been playing soccer since middle school and they're on traveling teams and really, really, really engaged in the sport, that's a lot different than a student who is, okay, I'm volunteering here at this nursing home for a little bit. Now I'm going to go over here and do this. They really want to know, what is it that interests you? What is it that you're going to bring to our campus that will, again, help our college community?
So is that theme held across schools or does it vary by schools? So would Harvard, for example, prefer to see a student on the crew team than on the soccer team?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. And again, it all depends on what they're looking for that year. So say, for example, in shaping their class and deciding who the students are that they're going to offer admittance to, they may say, okay, we do need someone for the crew team. That doesn't mean that they'll say, okay, that one person, that activity is going to put them over the line and make us accept them. No, but they are going to look at the person as a whole when they have the opportunity. Because remember, somebody that's applying to highly selective schools, or really any school in general, typically people are coming in with the same range of GPA, taking rigorous courses. So they all kind of look like that. So this is where your extracurricular activities may differentiate you from another student. So that's why it's really important that you're doing what's important to you, not what you think the college wants to see.
So you kind of touched into this a little bit so far, but is it quality or quantity? I know admissions officers like to see students do extracurricular activities, but should they spread those activities out or just kind of focus on one and owning in on one?
No, what they should do is they should focus in on what interests them. So that may be one, it may be three, it may be five, it may be 10. But focus in on the ones that really, really are of your interest, that are about you, not about, okay, there's 10 spaces on the Common App, so I've got to fill up all 10. No, that's not what it's about. And admissions folks are smart. They're wise. They've been doing this. So they can look at a student's activity list and look at the number of hours that they're putting in weekly, that they're putting in annually, and also understand how many hours they're putting into their schoolwork and say, okay, this person really can't be doing a good job at this volunteer activity or this, because there aren't that many hours in the day. So what are they really passionate about? What are they dedicating their time to? What are they committing to?
So I believe that the Common App gives students about 50 words to describe each of their extracurricular activities. So how can students utilize that space effectively as a way to make their extracurricular activities shine?
Well, here's the thing, Jackson. Actually, the Common App gives them less than that. So
Oh,
on the Common App, when you're putting in an activity, so in the place where you're giving in the position, so say you were just a member of an organization, or maybe you were in a leadership position, you only get 50 characters to put that in. When you're putting in the name of the organization, so say, it's the Boy Scouts of America, or it's a nursing home you're volunteering at, you get 100 characters. The description, you get 150 characters. That's including spacing, that's including punctuation, it's characters. So what I usually recommend to students, and I think a lot of my colleagues do the same, is to really hone in on that description. This isn't a time where you've got to write complete sentences. This is the time where bullet points or short phrases that are very descriptive of what you do will benefit you more, because you only have 150 characters to make that case. So for example, instead of saying I was a member of the Boy Scouts, and in that description, you don't want to just say I was a member of the Boy Scouts. What you would want to say is earned 10 badges, mentored 3 students, volunteered so many hours. So you want to use those short phrases because each one of those characters is valuable. So you have to use that space wisely. I tell my kids, so write out what your description is, and then we'll look at it. And how do we take that description and use those 150 characters in a way that actively shows how you were engaged in whatever it was that you were doing.
great. Well, thanks again for joining us today.
You're welcome, and thank you so much for the invitation. Much appreciated.
If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And for more interviews like this, please subscribe. Have a great day, everyone.